terrible with my store streams.
Alright everybody, we are back for round 4 of tonight's Friday Night Magic Standard event from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Who do we got now? We've got, on the left, we have the one, the only, and if you're not familiar with this man, you definitely need to go back in the archives and watch him in his full glory, Adam Vickers, playing a Bant Midrange deck. And on his opponent for this match, on the right, is Joseph Deal, a former FNM stream champion. Used to pilot goblins, obviously can't do that now. He is also playing Bant. I'm not sure if his is an aggro deck or a control deck or a mid-range deck, so I'm just going to put Bant. So, a Bant mirror match here in round 4. Both these players are 2-1. Does that sound right? Did I leave it out there?
I think you left it out there.
Okay, they were both on 6 points, I think. Cannot confirm. Apologize for that. But, looks like Adam's mulligan down. I'm going to find that paper. We are, or they are rather, 2-1. So,
Lucky guess.
Looked like, I thought they were, but I left my pairing sheet outside. So, Adam starts off with a Temple Garden untapped, dropping him to 18, and producing a Pilgrim.
Manadudes.
Joseph responds in kind with an untapped. I think the blue in Joseph's deck is for the Azorius Charm that you can see on the right side of his hand and a Detention Sphere. So I think he's more of a controlling, more mid-range deck. I know Adam is a mid-range deck because that's the only kind of deck Adam ever plays. So
he played control for a while.
The other side of Azorius Charm, it just cycles. Does it just draw a card?
It draws a card, it gives lifelink to all of your creatures, and it bounces to the top of the
Because
library.
I think he just cycled it there.
Cantrip, yay!
Oh, he's playing Geist. That's another part of the Blue Splash. So obviously an excellent excuse to play.
Yeah.
I mean, Delver has rotated, but there's nothing has changed about Geist being an excellent card. So.
Yeah.
So Joseph gets in there. We see a Snapcaster. It's going to eat that Geist, unless there's shenanigans, which
Rootbound
there
Defenses.
is. What is that card?
I believe that's Rootbound Defenses. It is. It populates and it gives all of your creatures indestructible.
So he's going to get a token, right?
But it gets Detention Sphered. What did Vickers cast there?
The Charm? Did he cast his own Azorius Charm?
Maybe that was it. It very well may have been a Charm.
Rootbound?
Yes.
It doesn't like that word.
Go back a letter.
Rootborn. Rootborn Defenses.
That was close.
You were close. And I apologize to everyone. Between rounds, you may have seen we were trying to adjust the glare. I don't know what's wrong. Normally we have a system that's set up pretty well, but for whatever reason, the right side is just taking a lot of glare tonight.
How bad does it hurt to bounce a Snapcaster Mage?
What was that?
I said, how bad does it hurt to bounce a Snapcaster Mage? That's like the last thing you want to do.
Well, you're not getting anything good out of it if you're the player doing it. So we see another Snapcaster come in. He's going to attempt to eat the Geist for the second time. This time it works. He will take the 4 from the Angel token, dropping him to 10. And we see, what, Armada Worm? No, Sigarda. Pretty good as well.
He can no longer sacrifice.
He flashes back the Azorius Charm, which I'm sure he gave flashback with the Snapcaster. So he's on the back foot here. Sigarda is a 5/5, right?
Yeah.
So Adam on a 1-turn clock here if he can't find an answer to that Sigarda. Seeing as how it has Shroud, it doesn't seem likely. Well, he's not done here. We do see a Snapcaster. Gets syncopated. He could pay for it, couldn't he have? Why did he not pay for it? Syncopate is you have to pay 2, right?
No, sync pays however much you pay. It's a blue and X.
Oh, it's a power sync. Goodness sakes, I'm losing my mind. Is it Charm? That's 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is this card? Adam Vickers just learned what Shroud is,
Yes.
or Hexproof.
It's a difficult mechanic.
You cannot target. I am going to bring up that Rootborn Defenses card here. That's not a card I was familiar with. Populate creatures you control are indestructible this turn. So it's basically just a combat trick / counterspell / populate. Now, when you populate the Angel token from the Geist of St. Trap, will it also get exiled at end of turn?
I've been told no, but I didn't ask.
That is something that if you have an opinion there on the stream, feel free to pile in with that. We are level -1 judges currently here in the booth, so we are not going to attempt to make a comment on that. If JB strolls in here, I might ask him that. Let's make a little note to myself.
It does not get exiled, according to Mr. Scott Driver.
Okay. Last week's draft champion, 2 times over, Scott Driver, currently watching in the chat. As we move to sideboards, I do not have a deck list for either of these gentlemen, so I cannot tell you what either of them are bringing in. I also did not start the timer, which I never do. I'm going to assume that there are 33 minutes left.
Joseph found a way to change the background of the live counter.
Okay, you did.
Cool.
Congratulations, Joseph Deal, for doing something. Oh, while he's doing that, let me run out there and find out what that you can talk to him about something.
So, Rootborn Defenses. Whenever I was test playing, it seemed like a lot of people were running the new board wipe, the Supreme Verdict. What do you guys think about playing it as a main board card, as a 1 or 2 of? I like the Do It. By the way, this is with an Esper token deck. I guess I should have mentioned that. Obviously, Joseph is running it here as we just saw it being played, but...
Alright. So you see us fumbling around there?
Yeah. The Vickers also changed his to blue, and
Okay.
Joseph changed it back to white.
So we have learning new things all the time here. We have started manipulating our life total app. I do not know what is wrong with the...
Did you find out what the app was, by the way?
Okay, so for those of you asking in the chat about the app, I was not able to get a ton of information about it, simply because I turned the Wi-Fi off on my iPod. As we see Adam Vickers get very cute with his smiley face. I turned the Wi-Fi off on my iPod so it doesn't get like texts and Twitters and stuff during the match. But it is called Life Total. It is all one word, life capitalized, total capitalized. I'll put it in the chat. I downloaded that about 1.5 years ago, maybe earlier, off of the iTunes store. It was a free application, so if I get any more information about it, I'll bring it next week, or you can hit me up on Twitter or some form of communication, and I will check it out. But for as of right now, that's what I know. Adam Vickers doing something. The only question is whether or not it's PG-13. He's drawing something. It's a
turd.
Uh-oh. He's gaming the system. We mentioned Scott Driver's watching at home. He has drawn a, I believe he drew a pile of poop, and didn't put Scott Driver's name on it. So, I don't know what's involved there. Joseph is mulliganing down to 6, I believe, correct? More like 5. Joseph has won a game. I should probably indicate that on the live totals.
I'm really rooting for Joseph in this matchup. Just because Vickers is a terrible, terrible human being.
Last week, Cliff Markham indicated that Adam Vickers was in fact the worst player ever. We didn't get confirmation on that, but we did bandy that idea around a bit. As we see the game finally underway, Joseph finds 5 that he's willing to keep. Starts off with an untapped Hollowed Fountain and a Judge's Familiar. What do you think about Judge's Familiar?
Love it.
It's a great card. Back in the day, we played with Spike Hatchling. Back in Lore 1 Block, we played with Curse Catcher. Now we have Judge's Familiar. It's seeing its way into Legacy decks. It's in Death and Taxes.
That's a Thaliah.
Mm-hmm. And a Mare, right?
Looks like Mayor.
He better do something about that Mare. It's just going to take over. I'll tell you that right now.
I wonder if that's a sideboard.
It might be. I think it's a sideboard against decks that don't feature a lot of spot removal. It's very fragile. I mean, it's a 1/1, right? So I'm sure he brought that in out of the side. Joseph is just beating down. I feel safe at this point, having seen him play the first game, and now the curve he's landing here in the second to make this change. Bant Aggro.
So, whenever I was...
Pump Fake. We see Rancor.
Had to pay one more for
He
it.
does have to pay one more due to his own Thalia. Why did Adam cast his own... Why did he cast his own Snapcaster? What did he...
To jump in front of the...
No, but did he cast it during his own turn, keeping his Mare from flipping?
I don't know.
I think
to make it +1/+1 for humans.
Mm-hmm.
When it flips, it just gives it to werewolves and wolves. I guess you would have got a wolf token out of it.
Yeah,
so.
The power to Mare is not in his Lord ability. It's in the fact that he can churn out 3/3s. Or, yeah, 3/3s, right?
Well, they're 2/2s.
But they get
count
pumped.
3/3, yeah.
See, Adam trying to stem the tide here with the Centaur Healer, which we learned the appropriate name of last round.
So this is the Courier?
No, it is the Healer. So Adam up against it yet again, facing down beatdowns from a First Strike Trampling, Thalia, a Geist of St. Traff, and a Judge's Familiar.
And fighting with his chair, apparently.
Yep. This one might be a quick one. He does have a Restoration Angel, which I imagine we're going to see here.
Does he?
I'm not sure what... he started to take something back. I'm not sure exactly what...
Backsies, takesies are allowed.
Look how...
He flipped at the end of his turn.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't he get the token as well?
It's at the beginning of your end step.
Oh, okay. So it has to survive through this. It will eat the Geist, won't it?
Yes.
So Adam will take 5, right? Which means he will live through the attack thanks to the life gain off the blinked
He
healer.
only took... Yeah, he did take 5. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Geist dies. Angel gets exiled. A much more manageable board state, and now Joseph is hellbent. So...
Could possibly be running out of steam.
I do see a Thragtusk in his hand, which would likely come down here, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
So, puts him back up to 8. He might have stabilized just on the turn he needed to. Would be a pretty epic comeback if he...
Why did Fortress...
Oh, yeah. They did miss... He did cheat there.
That's a forest, not a plains.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Did he play the Fortress last?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did end around there. I can tell everyone who may be concerned that there's no way that he did that on purpose, but like we've dealt with in previous rounds, we try to correct mistakes if we see them, but we are not in the business of streaming to correct everyone's play mistakes, so what's happened has happened, and it's unfortunate. It is what it is.
It happens.
So hopefully it doesn't end up ultimately winning him the match. I don't know how it wouldn't, though, because of the life gain that he's taking. Someone's saying that he might be doing that because he's nervous. Adam Vickers has played under this camera more than anyone else in the last 2 months, so I doubt it's that.
I'm also fairly certain that Adam Vickers doesn't get nervous based on his...
It's Adam Vickers.
His social...
What's that? Is that Smiter? Locked-on Smiter?
Yes. He is a 4/4 with Rancor on him. So he is now a 6/4 trampler. Apparently he is also getting points for style. Go Adam Vickers.
Mm-hmm. Not sure what happened there. The Thalia came digging out of its graveyard.
Mayor does flip back because more than 2 spells were played.
Mm-hmm. We're missing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to keep up with everything that's going on. We'll try to manage all of the technical aspects of the stream, monitoring Twitter, email, and the chat. Also taking into account that neither Brett nor I have any clue what we're doing, correct?
Yeah.
So he's exiling the Rancor there. Does it actually... How does a detention sphere read? Does that even work?
Yeah. It's like O-ring, but it can't target anything named detention sphere.
Okay. For some reason I thought it detained.
No.
No. That's just a nomenclature thing that I'm making up, apparently, so...
Yes. We actually only have one judge at the store, and he is also the store...
He's the manager. All right, I'm going to go out there and point out several things to them, just so it won't happen again. So. Okay, so I've informed these gentlemen of the issues from the previous game. To his credit, Joseph Deal, upon learning that he probably should have won that game, said, "Hey, I missed it too." So
it's not cheating if your opponent didn't caught you.
It's not cheating unless you're kidding.
It's not cheating unless your opponent didn't caught you. Although, Brett, I think you should take into consideration that we have a fair number of international viewers.
That's true. It could be a translation.
And the English of any foreign viewer in our chat is going to be infinitely better than any of my foreign language skills. I can speak enough French to be funny and maybe order dinner.
I have a question about French.
Sure.
I was once told...
Why are you asking me like I have an answer for it?
I was once told that every word spoken in French also has the meaning of "I give up."
Oh no, here it comes.
Is that true?
We got to tone down the political banter on the stream. The views expressed by Brett Rose are not those of the Lost Legion FNM stream and are his entirely.
He did play Infect for a very, very long time.
Yeah, Brett Rose played Infect. You can't take anything he says seriously. You want to watch Brett Rose play Infect? 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
What was that? The 28th?
I'm still trying to imagine.
Go to YouTube.
He's in
Username Zach Sells Magic. Go to our fifth set of FNM videos from September 28th, round 3, I believe. And also in the top 8, Brett Rose playing Infect.
No, it was green red.
Brett Rose winning from 1 creature on board, dead on board, to 12 Infect in 1 turn. So
wasn't that on turn 3 though?
it was on like turn 3.
So it was a turn later than.
To be fair, your opponent had made a mistake. He had attacked with a Perilous Smear for no reason. That was actually Cliff Markham.
Yeah.
He knew it afterwards. He told me. He's like, yeah, I realized. Such is the power of Infect. From nowhere to somewhere really, really fast. Well, while Joseph was all the mulligan, we should mention, you see it in the background when we cut the studio camera. We've talked about it all night. It's in the bottom left corner, but we do thank Lost Legion Games and Comics for allowing us to stream their events every week, and for streaming States tomorrow. Lost Legion with 4 locations in Princeton, Beckley, South Charleston, and Parkersburg, West Virginia. Visit their website at lostlegiongames.com. Brett, you have indirectly caused a political feud in our stream. Someone is equating the Glacial Fortress Untapped incident to Alex Bertoncini's 2 Explorers.
That's the only thing great about playing Shocklands. I feel like he probably thought he had a Temple Garden or...
So what are we off to here?
Yeah, there was a lot of dual lands here. It's tough to keep up with him. Adam did just put his deck together. He wasn't going to play tonight. He was thinking about commentating, but what happened was we saw a turn 3 Geist from Joseph that got syncopated, which I think is something you might want to play around, but maybe not. Again, we see the Mare show up. That has to be a sideboard card. I didn't ask Adam while I was out there, but it has to be a sideboard card. So, getting in for 6 there with the Smiter, the power of Rancor.
And Thalia.
And another Thalia.
Oh, Thalia. I'm saying that
You
wrong.
can say
I'm sorry.
Thalia. There's not a correct answer, I don't think.
Those are mine.
We see a Thragtusk. Cast with lands that would allow him to cast Thragtusk.
That's just solid playing.
Solid playing. Not cheating.
The Howler Fountain looks like all coming in.
Joseph is apparently on all Rancors all the time plan, as we now have a 4/1 first striking Trampler,
And he's going to Sphere Rancor.
knocking Vickers down to 9 life. We see the Mare flip. Joseph just has the 1 card in his hand, right?
It looks that way.
So we see a Restoration Angel here, which is going to be a giant blowout, as we get a Beast token, gain 5 life. I can get a Restoration Angel. Now, how are we going to line up blocks here? So, you would have to double block both things to kill them, right?
Yeah, but all his stuff.
He could put the Smiter, he could put the Thragtusk on the Smiter. But he's going to take 4 and trade with the Smiter. Joseph going to re-equip his Rancor.
I think I would have rather have had that on the Smiter than on her.
Well, she does first
He has
strike.
another Angel.
Six.
There's no reason to not block with the Thragtusk.
6/1 first strike is pretty decent.
Pro tips. That's the kind of high-quality strategy advice you can get from our stream. Such insights from standard mastermind Brett Rose. 6 power first strike is very good.
It's decent. I'm not
It's
going to say
decent.
it's good.
It's not good.
Doesn't he get a
It's like last week when someone suggested that our slogan should be "You come for the elf boobs, you stay for the decent commentary."
Yeah.
He wasn't even going to give us good. It was just decent. It was just better than nothing.
I don't want to talk us up, okay?
Scott Drivers in there.
Got to keep our feet on the ground. So there's a very large Thalia, a 6/1 first striking trampling Thalia. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't think it will ever attack.
It'll just get...
Adams managed to gain 10 life off blinking his Thragtusk, make a plethora of beast tokens.
You played a new Thragtusk last turn.
Oh, he played another Thragtusk?
Yeah, that's a wolf token there too.
A what token?
Wolf.
Woof.
Woof.
I don't have the Woof token overlay anymore.
I was waiting for it.
We used to flash Woof token anytime one appeared, but I've got to cut down on some of those overlays. It slows performance.
I realize my deck plays a lot of tokens. I didn't know that.
My token deck played a lot of tokens.
So he's gonna
like all my planeswalkers poop out tokens and then.
Swing in here for a crap ton.
Yeah, he gets in there for 7, 10. He gets in there for 10 total. 11? Did I miss something?
The Lord effect from the...
Oh yeah, it pumps the wolf.
And a healer and a...
Healer. I mean, Joseph has to have like a wrath effect, and even that doesn't win because he got 2 Thragtusk. I'm just going to save myself some time. Go ahead and...
Reset.
So a good bit of games. It's unfortunate that it worked out like that because of the play mistakes from the first and the second game. But that's the way it works. We're just playing for fun. No ill will be harbored. We have 13 minutes remaining. We were joined briefly by Michael Scott. Yeah, Michael Scott. Office character Michael Scott.
If I could do a Michael Scott impression, I'd do it. But...
So, let's switch the studio. He's Brett Rose. I'm Zachary Evans. The floating torsos behind us are Brandon Hart and Michael Taylor. So, gentlemen, we have 13 minutes. I'm going to give up on trying to fix the glare. I think it's workable. I think it will sort itself out. I hope and pray that we don't have that problem tomorrow at the state tournament because I will not have nearly the ability to sort that out. But, gentlemen, let's talk about this. So, are you all aware with the decks that were popular in the TCGPlayer 5K and the Star City Games Opens from last week?
Yes.
So, the main players in this new metagame, according to the professionals who play for Star City, appear to be some kind of blue-white control deck. Todd Anderson's deck that he won the event with, Splash Red, right?
Yeah, red for only pillars, maybe some sideboard cards.
So there's a blue-white control deck. Basically, the format is revolving around three types of decks, in my opinion. And I want to feel free to chime in because I want to hear everybody's collective thoughts. So there's basically 3 kinds of decks out there. There are Gravecaller decks, there are Terminus decks, and there are Thragtusk decks. Is there anything else I'm leaving out?
The deck that plays all 3.
That deck is bad.
No,
do you have all 3?
I don't have Terminus.
You don't have Terminus. It's impossible to play all 3, I think. But I mean, clearly that's how everything is breaking down. It appears to me. So you have control deck. Now whether it's red, white, and blue, whether it's Esper, whether it's just straight blue, white, whether it's Bant. Terminus is the best way to deal with all the creatures we've seen tonight.
Well, actually, I think there might be a 4th deck. The Angel of Serenity.
Also Frights, yeah. So there's a Frights deck or any kind of Reanimator type deck that's using Unburial Rites and the new Angel of Serenity. So basically, if you look at all those decks we talked about, Terminus is the one that wrecks all those. So Angel of Serenity, or anything that gets Unburial Rited, dies to Terminus. All of the zombies, you lose your card advantage because of Terminus. All of your token generators get beat by Terminus. So I either want to be on a deck that can beat Terminus, or is playing for Terminus.
Yeah.
Would that sound correct? What decks can beat Terminus? Terminus can beat Terminus?
Terminus can Terminus.
Mono blue mill deck? Someone is suggesting mono blue. Mill Defender. Okay, so we've broken the format on the mono blue Mill Defender deck. Check it out. So
that is true. The Reanimator decks did run 4 Thragtusk.
Yeah, Brett has just brought up we talked a lot about the decks we just mentioned were basically the Star City decks, but looking at the 5K from TCGPlayer, which was in Hartford, Connecticut, the same time, you've basically got, the winner of that deck was a blue-white beatdown deck, wasn't it?
With
Splashing-
Esper in there.
Splashing Black, which I assume would be for Lingering Souls. So that's a real deck, too. I mean, that's another one of there's a white weenie in every format, but there's a lot of value still in just straight beatdown. I mean, you're still playing Champion, you're still playing Gather, you're still playing Geist of St. Traff. I'd forgotten, honestly, until we saw Joseph resolve it, that Geist of St. Traff was a magic card. And like we were talking before, Delver may have lost a lot of its effect based on the loss of Ponder. But Geist is still an excellent magic card. It's very tough to deal with. It's not like anyone is playing more removal. I mean, people weren't playing removal before rotation. They're definitely not playing it now because they've lost the good removal spells. You've lost Doomblade, you've lost Go for the Throat. What spot removal is there now other than O-Ring type effects and Detention Sphere? There is Rift, which is just a bounce spell. There is Pillar, which doesn't work on half the creatures. There is Ultimate Price, which doesn't beat basically any of the cards we just saw play.
Dreadbore.
Dreadbore, yeah. Dreadbore is basically the Terminate of this format. It is I think it's the only target removal spell worth playing that isn't Pillar.
Abrupt Decay.
Tragic Slip, yeah. Tragic Slip is also good.
Abrupt Decay is pretty decent.
Abrupt Decay is good too.
It's really bad.
Okay, so basically what we've proven is I have no idea what I'm talking about because there's tons of targeted removal. But the one thing we are seeing is there are those cards, but a lot of decks aren't playing them. Like we saw Zombies deck earlier today wasn't playing Dreadbore. It was in the colors. Even the deck that got fourth, the Rakdos Beatdown deck that Joe Bernal played in the Star City event, his Dreadbores were in the side. He only brought those in. They actually did a deck tech with him. He only brought those in against the Thragtusk decks in games 2 and 3. So there's just not a lot of targeted removal. It's out there, but even how many were you playing in your deck, Michael? The Abrupt Decays?
I'm running 4, but the correct number is probably something less than that.
Well, I mean,
It's not more.
It's offensive. Yeah, the correct number is.
Get them early.
But anyway, going on and looking more at at what was played at that, there's a blue-white control deck. There's an Esper Tokens deck as well.
That's what that's a version of what I built.
Okay, and that's played by James Rinkowitz, who actually won the Grand Prix Providence 2 years ago, the Legacy event, with his Bant No Force of Will deck. There's a green-white mid-range deck. There's a Junk Reanimator deck. There's a Zombies deck. So it's basically all the decks we talked about. There's actually
There were 3 rights in the top 8 there.
yeah, so Reanimator is definitely something that is showing up as well. So you were right, Michael. I think there are whichever one of you suggested it. So basically the format revolves around Gravecrawler decks, Terminus decks, Thragtusk decks, and Unburial Rites decks. And as some people in the chat were pointing out, often multiples of those in the same time. Thragtusk basically goes in anything that can cast it. Terminus, obviously, you have to build around, but...
if you're playing green and you're not playing Thragtusk in your deck, you need to take a good long look at your light. Ask yourself what you're doing.
You need to reevaluate. So, gentlemen, you're playing... Brett, you are not playing tomorrow, assuming we get the stream going off. In which case, we will be doing commentary tomorrow, so definitely check us out for that. Brett's basically just giving everyone else a chance to win.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's very nice of you.
I don't want to run house.
you saw how many packs he was opening earlier for his one Cavern of Souls that he actually got. Michael, you've decided you are not attending?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it, unfortunately.
Okay, so Michael is otherwise detained. Brandon, you are going, right?
Yeah.
And you are playing the deck you're playing tonight? Or some iteration of green-white?
I mean, yeah, I'm either playing John or Green-White.
Okay.
I feel like I'm just going to play John.
What are you on tonight? Michael, you are 3-0?
I'm 4 now.
4-0, drawing in. That means guest commentary, doesn't it?
Hooray!
Oh wait, is your
Just like the good old days.
That means
I saw your wife out there. I told her she was the real winner because she had Chinese takeout.
Yep.
We have lukewarm Dr. Peppers. So,
You both have Dr. Pepper.
going into this round, we had Michael. You took out Brian Gross, who's not been on camera, to move to 4-0. So Brian's on 3 points. We just saw Adam Vickers move up to 3-1 and 9 points. Couple other 3-win players. So round 5, we should have a good winning in. We got about 5 minutes left in the round. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll come back for the winning in round and then follow it up with the top 8. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Thanks.